Hello again and welcome to yet another episode of Engine Talk. This is episode number 29, and yes, I hope that here in the coming weeks I will be having fewer Engine Talk episodes and more engine running episodes. So what I try to do in these videos is I try to cram in the thumbnail here all the little things that I'm going to talk about real quick. And I say real quick because I really am trying to keep some of these videos to under 20 minutes, but it just seems like an Engine Talk video covers so many topics, and it just takes a little bit of time to talk about some of these things. So let me move some of these things out of the way and we'll get right into this. So as the last Engine Talk episode, I was talking about these two Skyward engines. Now, since then and now, both of these Skyward engines have had a new set of Boca bearings installed. And I believe in that episode I mentioned that I had contacted my buddy Rich from ICBIM Products and had him create a set of gaskets for me for this engine. Actually, not for me, for us, the modeling community, because he will be making these available. So I would just really quickly wanted to just see how these actually fit, because he is really good at making these gaskets. However, he's only as good as the person giving him information on the dimensions and stuff. So in a way, this kind of falls on me if these don't work out real well, which would mean we'd have to go back to the drawing board and get some new measurements. So just looking at these things, that looks kind of thick, but maybe it's just an optical illusion. So as I said, brand new bearings in both of these engines. By the way, I have two. One of these I'm going to be selling, the other one I'm not. So let me just talk about that real quick. So one of these engines I'm going to keep for me to run and probably just to have because they're somewhat rare. The other one I don't have any intentions on keeping, so I'm going to sell one of them. Now, this one here has this higgly nut on it, and in my opinion, this is probably the one I'll keep because it's not as nice as this one. I noticed that the mounting holes have been enlarged over what the standard size hole is. So that's kind of a drawback there. The only other thing that's really a big deal is neither of these has a very nice prop hub. They're such a poor design prop hub, and they are just dinged up. Both of them are dinged up, so neither of those is nice. But the only other difference is the two exhausts. And obviously, if you saw my earlier video, I have a black one that came with this engine. And then, or no, it came with, this one came with a silver engine with a whole bunch of JB Weld on it, and this one came with a black muffler, as it was supposed to. Now, the engine I'll sell with the black exhaust so that it looks better. I'll keep the crappier looking exhaust because I really kind of want to see if I can sand some of that JB Weld down and repaint it. So the only other choices you have are, I have these two different carburetors that came with these. One of them has this automatic mixture, in-flight mixture control, and the other is just a standard carb. I am more, and it's really up to you. Whoever the buyer is, if anybody's interested in buying one of these engines, you can choose whichever carb. I don't care. I don't ever plan on using the in-flight mixture control. I think it's kind of a pointless thing. But when you choose to buy one of these engines, if you want this carb with the in-flight mixture control because of its uniqueness, I don't have a problem with that. You can have that. So anyway, one of these is going to be for sale. So let's get right to this real quickly here. So here's one of the gaskets that came out of this package here. So I just want to try and slide it on here real quick and see. Wow, that does look. Now sometimes you can rotate these around and they may be a slightly different shape. I think Rich made this one so that it's, because sometimes these rear covers have slightly different shapes. So like this one's really pinched in a little bit more than on the top. So where is that pinch in spot? This one really looks kind of symmetrical, like you just made those symmetrical, which is fine. It's not a big deal. So let's just put this on here and just see if our holes line up and see if we can just thread these in hand tight real quick. And then we'll be on to the next topic. By the way, those of you that follow this channel closely know that there was a blizzard over last weekend. A lot of the snow is melting already. In fact, the roads are completely clear. The only snow that's really going to be persistent are these big, huge piles that have been piled up. Okay, so this looks perfect. Beautiful. Gaskets are perfect, beautiful. Thank you, Rich, for very, very much, and I'll get this other one put on here afterwards. So, I briefly in the intro had this book showing, and this is a very interesting book. It's one of two. I have volume 1. This is the American Model Engine Encyclopedia volume 2. I have volume 1 also. These are not books that I look at a lot unless I really need to, because for the most part, I'm not as interested in American model engines as I am Asian or European ones, and I wish there were books like these for those engines that included, you know, Enya and Sato and OS and that type of thing. But anyway, so I have this. This was given to me. God, I can't remember. Enjoy your gift from Mark Tessarini. Yeah, enjoy your book. And so yeah, so Mark, an old friend of mine, Mark Tessarini. I don't know if I haven't heard from him in many years. Gave me both of these books, and he actually wrote my name in there too, which was kind of cool. So anyway, the reason I got this out is because of this. So this is a box, a production box of a stock Fox 25 BBRC engine, which is model number 22598. And I have this box here because A, I bought this box. I bought this brand new in box Fox 25 BBRC engine. But the funny thing about this box is its size, because when I bought this engine from this fellow George, he actually sent me 2 other Fox engines, which also happen to be inside this box. So we're going to talk about these Fox engines real quick. And this box has a lot of stuff in it, aside from the 3 engines I've jammed in there. And I don't really mean jam, but anyway. So here it looks like it came with, this box or this engine came with everything that you would expect from Fox at the time. Now the 25, this model number engine, and we'll go over this a little bit more, 22598 Fox 25 BBRC engine came out in 1993, which is one of the reasons I've got that book. But so here we go, it's a purchase order. This is for buying spare parts, and this is actually dated April 1st, 2001. So apparently Fox was still in operation in the 2001. I don't know, because it's hard to know the history of certain engine manufacturers. I mean, obviously, you know, OS is still around, and Sato and that, but I mean, some of these just kind of went off into the sunset. So here's the owner's manual for Fox 25, June 1993. Here's the owner's manual, and it talks about all your good stuff. And this is typical Fox stuff. It's these weird size sheets that have part numbers, costs, prices for replacement parts. So this engine dates back to 1993. What is this? Is this anything different? Oh, here's a carburetor thing on Fox carburetors. Easy Carb, which I'm not sure if this engine has the Easy Carb on it or not. I don't know that it does, because I don't think it has that saddle mount, it seems like. And we'll pull those out and look at them. But it's nice because it shows you all these parts for the carbs. And anytime you can get a carb exploded parts breakdown, that'll always be very helpful for you in at least knowing if you have all the standard parts. Now this is really small, and it's not super clear, but hey, it's better than nothing. And this is just a duplicate, and then this was this is a letterhead from Fox Manufacturing, a letter from Fox Manufacturing. It says it's got the Fort Smith, Arkansas postage stamp there, October 14th, 2008. I'm hiding the person that it went to just because I don't know them or anything like that. But anyway, so that's some of the stuff that came with this. So let me just, these are the engines the extras that came with this new in-box engine. And now they're both Fox 25s, and so I had a Fox 19, and it looks a lot like this, where it's got this, the parting line for the head and the main case is way down here, so it's got these really long screws. And when George sent these pictures to me, I'm like, oh, that's a Fox 19, because I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I know what I'm talking about, because I didn't know what my 19 was, because there was nothing on it at all. And somebody in the comments, you know, whenever that was that I ran it last 2 years, said, hey, that's a Fox 19. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is a Fox 19. And George corrected me and said, no, it's not. It's a 25. And it may be a little hard to see there, but this is a 1993 vintage Fox 25 BBRC, and it does not have that carb, that easy mount carb with that saddle. This is a different one. I think this is a easy, called the Easy Carb Mark 15 or something like that. I'll have to look. I'll show you in the book. So this came with, and by the way, George, thank you for these extras when I only paid for the one engine. You gave me 2 others. This came with a nice tilt-down muffler. You know, Fox was always famous for their either tilt-up or tilt-down mufflers. I don't know that they ever made a straight one. I know they did, but I'm just saying that. This one is a slightly different Fox 25. This is maybe the original Fox 25, and I haven't found this one yet in the book, because, and we'll get to the book. This looks like it's got the easy carb, because it's got this, you know, it's got this saddle mount. I call them a saddle mount carb. With Fox engines, always have these really long throttle arms that, if you're going to run them on a test stand, it always gets in the way. They always get in the way. Always. So it's like you have to put your engine out at an angle like this so you can clear that throttle arm, because it's just so darn long. They weren't designed for running on test stands, apparently. So this is a bushed bearing engine. You can tell by the shallow nose. And this has got ball bearings in it. Now this front ball bearing is an interesting size, because it's a slim. Many of the Fox engines use, if you look on the part numbers for the bearings, at least the ones I get from Boca, they'll say something something S. And that means it's slim in Boca's terminology. It's a slim bearing. So I will be doing a bearing replacement on this engine to test and verify Boca's website. This one obviously not, because it's not a bearinged engine. So that leads me to showing you this new in-box engine, which this is what's kind of confusing to me, is look at, this was a needle valve that came with one of those other engines. Now I don't think that this is complete as far as all of the foam, because there would be more foam in here. Fox liked to, you know, put all this foam in here, but I mean, look at the size of this box and look at the size of this engine. I fit 3 of these engines complete with exhaust in this box. So it's just kind of humorous to me that Fox would make these boxes so huge. So let's just very quickly look at this new engine. This is the new in-box engine that I purchased, and this one, it's a lot easier to see here. It says 25 BB there. I do not believe that my 19 had that stamped on there, otherwise I would have been able to see it and say, hey, that's a 19. I don't think that it did. So same type of thing. Ball bearing. So the other thing with these engines, especially the ones that came out in '93, I don't know how long Fox did this. Maybe they did this forever that they were in operation, was that they would run all of their engines at the factory just to get them set up initially. So if you ever took a, because their thought was, we want to sell you an engine that all you have to do is take it out, mount it on your plane, and it's already set up and tuned for the most part to run and fly, and all you really have to do is just do a little minor tweaks. That was what I had read about them many years ago. Now, because this thing, the prop hub isn't attached mechanically to this, I'll probably have to put a little spinner on there. But because of the fact that this was run at the factory, 99% of any new in-box Fox engines you come across now are going to be locked up, even though they're new in box. And of course, you may say, well, that's counterintuitive to a new in the box engine, because I'm always saying that an OS or Sato engine that's 30 or 40 years old, that's new in the box, truly new in the box, will never ever be locked up. And I still hold to that. They won't, because they didn't run their engines like that. But Duke Fox, they ran their engines, and they ran them with castor fuel. And what does castor do over time? It gums up. So does this have bad bearings in it? No, I do not think that it has bad bearings in it. I think that some heat, I wouldn't put oil in there. I would test this just using some heat. Just put some heat on here and watch how this frees up. Now this carb was a little tight, but not super tight. At least it's freed up. But so here's the test of time. You can see this portion of the high-speed needle assembly is rusty. And that's just from time. If you look at the bottom of it, yeah, the whole thing. So I don't know what this was made out of, but it just looks rusty. So that's rust. That's not castor, that's just rust from time. But anyway, so brand new engine. Let me see if I can put a prop stub on here real quick so we can attempt to turn this thing over and see how stuck it really is. Now Fox also had these really interesting prop nuts. They had like a groove in them, and you can always tell if that's a stock Fox nut because it's got that strange little groove in there. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so it turns over. It was just tight because that, drive hub wasn't pressed on there. So it turns over. Does it feel smooth? Feels gummy. Feels like it needs to be heated up. But so this is a beautiful little engine. I mean, I've got numerous Fox engines, and I wasn't going to pull them all out, but I am about to pull this book out and show you. When you think you know or you've identified a Fox engine, pull out this book and think again, because Fox engines are just really vast and unbelievable. So in this book, the American Model Engine Encyclopedia Volume 2 from 1935 to 2015, Fox engines take up 42 pages. 42 pages of this book. How many pages is this book? It's probably over 200. 244 pages. Fox engines take up 42. All of this is Fox engines. So it starts here, and I know I don't have this in my 4K, so you're not going to really be able to read this. And so this is difficult for me to... Here's a shout out to Rich and those gaskets. I had that place holding 42 pages. So this is where it's hard to understand this, because it's like, I don't know if you're flipping through these and it starts at 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one of these pictures has a number on it, but it's like, does that in time or is it in displacement? Because I'll go all the way back to the back here and I'll see engines from 1993. And maybe that's when they stopped building them. But you'll also see some even older ones. It just seemed like they were all over the place. So anyway, 42 pages. You think you know what Fox engine you've got. That's why I haven't found this little guy yet, because it's like, if you think you're going to just go from displacement, like here's a 29, 35, 49. So it's not like they went in displacement from smallest to largest. It's all over the place. Maybe they went from year, earliest to oldest, and that makes most sense. But if they made like a 25 here in this year, 1947 say, and in 2000 or 1993, then you got the 25 spread across here. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out, I'm sitting here flipping through here looking for all the Fox 25s. There's a Fox 25. Number 23, 1954. That's not it. Fox 29, Fox 35, Fox 25 here. Those aren't that. This engine looks, because it has mounting lugs for an exhaust, which is probably not this exhaust. I can guarantee you this engine was not designed to run with this exhaust, because this is a much more modern exhaust than this. It just so happens to fit, which is kind of nice. But that is not the exhaust that goes with this engine. So, and the other thing is you get one picture and a blurb. You get a little blurb and that's it. I mean, it's wonderful. It's more than you can find on most engines, but it leaves you wanting more. So I'm just going to keep flipping here and just see if I can quickly come up with a Fox 25, this engine, not this exhaust, that has this strange, well, I won't say strange. Fox made a lot of these saddle mount carb mounts. Geez, let's just see here. These are the 60s. Let's go back. Let's see. What does this look like? This looks like maybe a 70s version. So let's flip to the 1970s and see if that's 71. Okay, here we go. Fox 40. See, here's a Fox 40 RC. Here's a Fox 78. So it's not. It's going by year. And then you got to keep looking around here. 35, 15. 29, 35. These still have the baffle exhaust. So its engine's later than that because it had bolt-on Eagles. Now we're starting to get something that looks a little bit closer here. And then Fox also did one of these things where some of their exhaust mounts, the screws are up top instead of on the sides. So I know you're probably getting as bored as I am. This is tough going trying to find. Now we're starting to get into 75s. Okay, 1975. So let's start looking a little. This is when they started doing these larger rear covers, so I might have missed it here. Fox 36, 36, 25, 29. Kind of. So you have to like sit here and hold this thing and look at it. The case kind of looks like that, but not exactly. And then sometimes you get a picture that's the other side, and you're like, well, that doesn't help me much. Or you get an oblique angle where you really can't see the carb mount. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. Fox engines were just so vast. And when it comes to Fox engines, it's like you're looking on eBay and you say, oh, that's a blah, blah, blah. And maybe it's not a blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Fox 25 bushing control line. That's looking, that's not it either, because it's got the up-down exhaust. Jeez. Boy, I don't know. These are starting to look a little more modern. Fox 9. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I think we might have stumbled upon it here. Here's a Fox 25 1980. This one is starting to look a little bit closer. It's got the exhaust mount there. It's a control line version. And it's bushed. So the next page will have the RC version. Let me take these screws out. I don't think I've got these all the way in. Let me take these screws out real quick and take this exhaust off, because that might help identify something here. I think I might have found this engine. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like maybe this engine is this one right here, 202A. And I'll hold it up there. Fox 25 bushing, 1980, except uses new smaller version of the Mark 10 carburetor, same as the 19. I think that's it. Okay, so let me hold that picture up there next to this, since they've got it set like that. So I think we found that engine. This is officially called the Fox 25 bushing, because it's got that same carb, exact same carb, yep. And it has the castings here where they could have had the holes drilled for the exhaust here, but instead they've got lugs on the side. like here in this image. So there we go. I found it. So, wow. So anyway, I guess the whole point here is that Fox engines are just vast and an enigma, and unless you have this book, good luck knowing exactly what the heck Fox engine you've got. So that's going to end my video for today on the Skywards. You probably won't see anything me talk about these Skyward engines anymore until I get one of them on the stand and run it, and I'm probably going to go ahead and throw this gasket on the other. But like I said, one of these is for sale. Email me. That's the only way I will entertain things like that, is via email. Email me and we'll talk about which options you want and all that good stuff. So that's my episode of Engine Talk for today.